Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and salam sejahtera. My name is Nurhani Basira binti Muhammad Norman Zulmina. My metric number PC10CX. I from Group Fantastic. Our group will explain about the design of experiment.
Okay, for introduction, design of experiment, DOE is defined as a method for determining the cause and effect relationship between factor in a process and the process output. This systematic approach applies the conclusion drawn from the understanding of cause and effect to design for improvement output. It can also be used to create better product and process. The amount of time and money spent on production and development decrease as process are improved. DOE or design of experiment is a tool for creating experimentation strategy that maximize learning while utilizing the few resources possible. Experiment design is widely used in a variety of fields with applications spanning all industry and social science. Engineers and scientists working on manufacturing process improvement use it extensively to increase yield and decrease variability.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Siti Nur Fatih Hathira binti Hassan, metric number PC1077. History design of experiment, DOE. DOE have 4 era. This era which begin with agriculture, 1980 to 1940. DOE produced by Sir Ronald Fisher while working at a private agriculture research facility. Sir Ronald Fisher collaborated with his co-workers. Sir Ronald Fisher aimed to rise food yield to feed a military and population. Second era is the first industry, 1950 to late 1970. This era immediately following World War II. The first industrial era marked other resurgence in the use DOE. During period, Bob and Wilson published a seminar study in reaction surface design. Third era is the second industrial era, late 1970 to 1990. The importance of statistic quality control was taken to Japan in the 1915 by W. Edward Deming. In 1916, their quality started improving. The Japanese car industry adopted statistical quality control produced and conductor experiment, which started this new era. Total quality management, continuous quality improvement are management techniques that have come out of this statistical quality revolution. Last era is a modern era, begins circa 1919, when economic competitiveness and globalization are driving all sectors of this economy to be more competitive. Principal DOE is blocking, randomization, and regression. First is blocking. Independent measurement to a traceable methodology standard are not achieved in several disciplines to research. Comparison between therapies are far more available and typical. They are frequently evaluated again to scientific control, authorization, and treatment that survey are baseline. Second is randomization. It's one of the most dependable strategy for generating a homogeneous treatment group that is free for bias or possible concern. Randomization have two variants types such as completely randomized design. This object or topic will be allocated to fully random group in the completely random design. Second is random block design. The tester is aware of specific variance between group or person or item in the experimental group. A random block design may prefer over a purely random design. Third is replication. Measurement are repeat and whole experiment are reproduced to assist discover the source of variance, better assess the genius effect to treatment, increase the experiment reliability and validity, and add to the current knowledge of issue. Next is DOE step. First step is a blocking. The non-random organization of experiment unit into group consisting of units that are like one other is known as blocking. Second step is orthogonality. Orthogonality refers to the type of comparison that may be carried out legally and effectively. Last step is factorial experiment. Factorial experiment should be used instead if the one factor at a time strategy. These are effectively at assessing the impact and potential interaction of several factors. Thank you for me. I will pass to the next.
Assalamualaikum. I'm Atira binti Muhammad Yusuf. My metric number PC19023. Now I will to continue our slide presentation with topic DOE application process. DOE means design of experiment. Okay, design of experiment, we have 5 points. First, planning the experiment. Second, design the experiment. Third, conducting the experiment. Fourth, analysis result. 5, confirming predicted result. Next, this is planning the experiment of DOE. Okay, for the planning, we use brainstorming to solve the problem solving. Next planning is we use a new idea to develop problem solving solution. Next, this is experimental design process of DOE. So we have 9 steps of the process. First, define problem. Second, determine objective. Third, determine response and factor. 4, design experiment. 5, conduct experiment and collect the data. 6, analyze data. 7, interpret result. 8, verify predicted result. And the lastly is number 9, additional experiment as required. Next, this is conducting the experiment of DOE. So for conducting the experiment of DOE, we have 9 steps. We have 7 steps to conducting the experiment of DOE. First, define and state the goal. Second, pick responses. Third, select the level want to use. 4, select the experiment design option. 5, guide the experiment. 6, analysis data. And the lastly is number 7, make conclusion and recommendation. Next, this is analysis result for DOE. For the analysis result, we have 4 steps. First, determine which term and primary response variability. Second, determine term has statistically significant effect on result. Third, evaluate model data. 4, evaluate model analysis and assumption. Next, this is confirming predicted result of DOE. Conducting confirmation runs, we call confirming predicted result, or predicted result we call conducting confirmation run. This is to interpolation, and result may include optimal setting to achieve the experiment goal. That's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Ainun Naziha. I will continue our presentation with the string design of experiment. First is provide researcher with a high level control. And this can be said so because the design of experiment can isolate specific variable. Through the isolation of these particular variables, various advantages are available to assist the process to be carried out. Second is provide conclusion that are specific. This can be said as such because the design of the experiment provides such a high level of control that it can produce specific and relevant result consistently. Furthermore, in research, specific and consistently relevant results are very important in determining decisions. Third is the result can be duplicated. This can be said so because the design of the experiment is simple. The proof, which is the basic form of research that allow for its duplication when the same variable is controlled by someone else. Last is no limit to subject or industry involved. This explains that the design of experiment is not limited to particular industry or type of idea. This is because the design of experiment can be used in a variety of situations. I think that's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurhani Basira binti Muhammad Rahman Sunnah. My metric number is PC1006. I want to explain about weakness design of experiment. First, weakness is curtain and or extra unrealistic in contrast to this study. This explain about this study is specialist or more realistic as differ from the case study. This is said to be so because when the experiment occurs, it shows a way to study something or the study is successful or not. Second, behavior within inside the laboratory could be very slender in this range. By controlling the state of affairs or precisely, behavior can be very common, so consequently affecting results. This is said the weakness of the experimental design is that the behavior found in the laboratory and the claim condition can put risk about the result being carried out. This is said because by controlling the situation appropriately, the behavior may be limited so as to impact the result, and it is capable of causing on an experiment to not run smoothly. Next, demand checks all the warning signs which bring to the player the motive of the experiment. The weakness of experiment is the characteristic of the demand that signal as well as the presentation to the participant or the purpose of the experiment is conduct. Tester and participant are active human beings who may naturally have more certain difference about what is found in the experiment, and this can find what's going to happen and what is supposed to happen. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, in conclusion, the design of experiment is an advanced and complex analysis tool. A skilled experimenter can cut through the noise to find critical process factor. The properties of process response can then be controlled using factor, allowing teams to engineer process to the exact specification required by their product or service. A well-planned experiment can not only save project time, but it can also solve critical problem in process that were the previously unnoticed. Factor interaction can be observed and evaluated. Team will eventually figure out which factor are important and which are not. Okay, next, the recommendation is to use in the future. This is due to the fact that DOE enable the construction of a carefully prepared set of representative experiment in which all relevant factors are diversified at the same time. Do is all about forming experimental entities that collaborate to map out interesting experimental areas. So using DOE, we can provide an optimally placed set of experiment to yield as much information about how factor influence response as possible. Thank you.